and we are live. Yep, we are live. Today is 3rd of October, and this is OSRA Scrum. Here is Craig, Nikita, and me. We do not have Motasem today, so start with only member 3. Well, Nikita, your turn.
Sure. Craig, it was today that you merged my pull request, right? No, sorry.
Two, didn't I? Merged one first thing this morning,
yeah,
and then another one.
Yeah.
About
the priority.
Late morning, I think.
Yeah, and then I merged yours.
Yes, that's right.
And then I submitted a new one for the last task that I had for the sprint. So it's waiting there. It's waiting for code review. But at this point, I'm basically I'm done with what I had planned to do. So I took this new story to keep me busy in the meantime. So yeah, that's it. I haven't started at all. I took it. I assigned this story to myself about an hour ago, so I haven't done anything with it yet.
Cool. Craig?
I've assigned that a story to myself. I'm worried a little bit about my time management at the moment. I've focused quite hard on the sprint this week and put other commitments that I have on hold. I think I can't see me being around as much next week as I have been this week.
Well, but on this week you've done almost all things that actually you committed to, you know?
Yeah, and that's what we said in the retrospective, didn't we? We try and get them done at the start, so if we hit blockers, we'd still have time to sort them out. But so yes, I know you were aware of it, but I'm just kind of reminding you if I disappear off the face of the world for a little while.
The Slack.
Yeah.
Just try to participate in scrums.
Yeah, I'll try and get for scrums. Yeah. I'm aware that I don't want to just drop off the face of the world, but I'm kind of starting to get under a bit of pressure to do other stuff at the moment. I've had a quick look at that pull request. Pull requests. How many pull requests are there in there? It's massive, isn't it?
You know what the problem was? The problem was that I think some of the prerequisites were not in place.
Right.
Because the associations that I think should have been there were not. Or at least the associations, let's say, that I assumed were there at the time that we were discussing the story. So I ended up having to put them in place, and that certainly bulked it up quite a bit with the tests and everything. But I think it's, overall it's very straightforward. I don't think there is anything there that, the only thing that maybe we can discuss, sort of the kind of a high-level thing, is what I was talking about on Slack earlier today, is about how to link the partner and the orphan.
Yeah.
If at all. Because there was no link between them at all, and I don't know if that was an oversight, that at the time that orphan lists were implemented, those links should have been created, or it was intentional that there is no link between a partner and an orphan.
I think it's probably naivety. I think people tend to look at the ERD and think if you can hop through 6 models to get to something, it's okay.
Yeah, that is just, yeah.
So I think you've just hit an issue that wasn't really fully thought out when we started, maybe.
Yeah, but even from business sense, I would have thought that when you look at a partner, you want to know which orphans that partner brought into the organization, for example, stuff like that. But well, anyway, so like I said, I shared that a couple of my thoughts earlier about leaving everything the way it is and just using delegation to hop from orphan to orphan list to partner to province. But pretty much as soon as I wrote that up, I realized that that's just ridiculous. If we're talking about orphan needing to have a province or access to the province code, then clearly there needs to be a shorter bridge to go from one to the other. So yeah, I ended up assigning orphan has one partner through orphan lists, and so it's much easier now to go from orphan to the partner to the province, and that's what I needed for the OSRA number. I needed the province code.
Okay, does that mean the delegates are no longer needed?
No, there are no delegation. Sorry, there is one delegation. It's actually in the orphan, and it delegates the province code to the partner.
Okay, because I'm looking at a pull request now, and like partner has a delegate here as well.
So yeah, partner delegates the code to province.
Oh, okay.
And then orphan delegates. Sorry, it doesn't delegate anything. It just is that right? Where is it? Yeah, it delegates province code to partner. So there's still a jump through these two.
Through across three models.
Yeah, but at least we're not really bypassing orphan list because you go from orphan to the partner through the orphan list. But at least we don't need to mention it explicitly. I mean, another option, which I think I mentioned on Slack, is to have a direct link that an orphan has a province. And this would be outside of the addresses that the orphan has. This is something that the orphan inherits from the partner. But that would be a more radical change, I think, that we would need to discuss altogether. So in the meantime, I implemented it like that, and we can definitely come back to this.
Yeah, I mean, I commented on yours and said I didn't have strong opinions, but looking at that delegate now, I'm not talking about this commit. I'm just talking generally. Mm-hmm. Longer term, is it clear to you? It confuses me a little bit because we're delegating twice, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, you're supposed to use delegates to avoid law of Demeter violations. But if you're chaining your delegates, I don't know if you're doing yourself any favors, really.
You're Demetering your
That's right.
Delegates.
Yeah. But like I said, we are at the moment we need to jump across four models.
Yeah.
Unless we shortcut that process at the architecture level, there is really no other way to do it.
There was another question there, or I think I posted a question about it being a single call or a call to a collection of. Did I put that in yet? I'm trying to find your gist now.
It doesn't sound familiar.
Does it not? Yeah, is this likely to be called for a single partner or for a query retrieving a collection of partners?
Is this on Slack somewhere, Craig?
It's a comment in your gist.
Ah, that's where it is. No wonder I haven't seen any notifications about that at all. You know what? Let me think on it then, because I don't want to say something that.
The only reason, I mean, again, it probably doesn't affect the PR that we're looking at, but if it's for a single partner, then that chain is just like two lookups, two queries to the database, if you see what I mean. But if it's for a group of partners that you're downloading, and then you're asking for that information in a for each block, for example,
Yeah.
then there's going to be two calls to the database potentially for each element in the partner collection, and then we're probably going to want to do something like includes in the so that when we query the partner model, it brings that information as part of the query. Am I explaining that very well? When you call a partner, you can include other associations, can't you, as part of the query?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so, and what I'm saying is, say we're going to call those associations that just look like a standard method call, don't they?
Right. Yeah.
So if we got a group of partners and we did for each partner dot province code, it's then going to execute a query to the database to find out partner dot orphan list, and then orphan list dot, and then query and pull that back, and then it's going to make a query to the database for province codes belonging to orphan lists. Am I making sense there?
You know what? I think I need to sit down and draw this basically.
Okay, but basically, what happens is if you're querying a partner,
yeah,
and you so you'll do that. So say you select the first partner, select a partner with ID 32. It'll send a query off to the database, select star from partner where ID equals 32, and it'll retrieve that and turn it back to Rails, and Rails will turn that into a partner object. And then we're all happy. But then as soon as you say partner.orphan list or whatever it's, yes, orphan, what does partner?
Province code.
Partner has many orphan lists, doesn't it? So as soon as you link,
oh, right. Okay, yeah.
And then you're going from orphan lists into provinces, aren't you? Is that the way the link works?
No, the province is associated with the partner.
Sorry. Okay. So partner.province.
Well, yeah. If you are not delegating anything, then it's partner.province.code.
Okay. So we've got that partner back, and we want the province code. So then it'll say select province from provinces where partner. So it's then going back to the database and making another query. Now, when you're on a show, that's no big deal because it's just another query. Or if you're chaining two calls, it's two queries as it hops across three models. But if you're returning a collection of partners, so say any partner that has been created in the past week, and we get back 100 partners, and then it shows in that list, if we've got a table, for example, the code for each of those, then just to render that, we've got the first query to the database to return the partner list, but then we've got 100 queries to the database to return the code for each of those partners.
Yeah.
But if we say in the partner model include province, then what it'll do is it'll join the table and return your whole list of partners with all the province information as part of that one query. So rather than have 101 queries, we just have one query.
But this kind of dynamic querying wouldn't. When would it happen? Because in the orphan model, you need to do this query on create.
Okay,
So,
that's what I'm saying. So it's just one call. That's what I was trying to. So if we're only ever going to do it on one.
I think so.
On one single model, then it's a non-issue. That's what I was trying. That's why I was saying, is it for a single partner? So if it's just to create a single partner, then it's it doesn't matter, because we're only ever talking about 3 queries to the database.
I think that's always how it's going to be, because the OSRA number for the orphan gets created on model creation, and it never changes again.
Cool.
And it's written into the orphan table, so it stays there permanently forever.
So other than clarity, it's a non-issue in terms of database performance, is what
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. I'll have a look at that later.
Yeah. Well, when you have time, Craig.
Okay, that was a big discussion, you know.
Yeah, I'm not very eloquent at these things, and it takes me. I'm sorry. It takes me a little time to get what I'm trying to say across.
Let's look what MotorSim did.
Craig, do you work with databases, or this is?
Yeah, I have a little. Yes, yes. I mean, I've built apps before, and they're always database related. So yeah, I've got to focus on how anything's going to impact the DB when we're. You've probably seen that from PR comments.
Yeah, well, I appreciate them, because I have, all I have is what I've picked up through miscellaneous internet resources, basically. So it's always good to think from this angle.
You'll be an expert in it in a few weeks when we go live, and they start telling us that X and Y Z renders on a certain page really slowly.
Yeah. They're just waiting when our client will start using it, because we just doing almost done everything that we wanted. MotorSim did nothing, actually. I can click with recently updated, and we can see that there is no updates from MotorSim.
He may be just working on this. He's working on this Excel thing, wasn't he? He had the blocker yesterday.
Yeah.
He may be, and he was talking about implementing that new domain model and import orphan, or whatever it was going to be called. So maybe he's on that.
Yeah, but no subtasks, no comments, no comments in Slack. He's going into deep.
He left. Yeah, like I said, he left one comment on one of my previous pull requests, and he talked about some Cucumber features that he was writing.
Okay, we'll wait for him. Anyway, it seems that we almost done our sprint. We picked up some new stories. Our sprint, our burn down chart is enormous. We really need to make U-turn. It's enormous, because I know that it seems that we are going good, but burn down chart is going different way.
Yeah, it's climbing all the time.
Yes. Well, if maybe while you discussed, I made that trick and saw a real burn down chart, it was not that bad, but yeah, we're climbing very fast. But yeah, we need to have the client to approve meetings. And I really started to realize that client should approve user stories every day, not on particular meetings. Because it's just the normal way to close them, Seems like, yeah. But anyway, I think it was a very productive week, and I'm looking forward to the next week to see how we will cope with that, and I hope that at the start of next week will be feedback from a client.
Yeah, it's exciting times. Well, even if we don't get phase note done this scrum, I think it's within grasp of the following one.
Well, definitely.
Yeah, well, unless the client labels some new stories as phase 0.
I think they will. I'd fall off my chair if they didn't. Having dealt with people, that's just it's like death and taxes. We're gonna have to get used to it, and
I think the better way just to start using after third sprint, because these two features, they're not very important actually, and even maybe we will finish them until the end of next week. And
I mean, we can nudge and suggest, but at the end of the day, they'll either use it or they won't, and the quicker we get it so that they're happy with it, they'll start using it. I don't see it as an issue. I think we'll definitely have more things to sort out from phase 0, and they're as new to it to this process as we are. So they haven't had any expectations, and then suddenly they've seen this app, or maybe they've seen the app before and it's been going at a snail's pace. While Motterson's been left to work on it at his own devices, and then suddenly it started to gain momentum, and they'll start to have all these ideas, and you're going to suddenly start to get all these things creeping out the woodwork that they'd not even considered. And I just think we're working quite well. We're all working very well, with the client and as a team. And I think whatever rears its head, we'll be able to deal with reasonably quickly, and we will be able to get a working live product up before not too long.
Yeah.
And I mean, I really would. Well, it would be lovely. I suppose we can't insist on it, but if the app is not ready for production, let's say right at this moment, but if they were willing to take an hour or 2 hours of their time and just put some dummy data in there and just test drive it basically.
Yeah.
I think that would be of enormous benefit to us, because so far they look at individual features more or less in isolation from what I understand, and I don't know how good of a feeling they have about what the whole thing is going to look like.
Yeah, we cannot know that, but yeah, we need to make a trial. I think we should suggest at the end of third sprint that we should try to use it, try to make the whole process, import one of Excel files and try to work with it, and when after fourth sprint we can go live in normal production. Something like that.
Tantalizing, you can almost touch it.
Yeah. It's a moving target, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just, as I say, it will happen, and it'll happen soon. But when that is, I think unless we get a vast amount of tasks, it's still within grasp of the next sprint. So
yes,
let's just see how it goes.
I don't know if we can keep that momentum. It seems that this backlog in grasp of next sprint.
Also the number of really crappy uber long stories that we're able to pass on to Nick, or getting smaller and smaller. So the issues may be a lot bigger, but they may just be like little niggles. Move a field here, move a field.
Yeah.
So I feel we're getting closer.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Okay, guys. Thank you for good job for this week. We'll see. See you.
Pavel, thank you for sorting. I really appreciate what you do. It's great. How to run scrums and this whole agile place. I wouldn't have had a clue. And the way you lead us through all this and keep nagging me to do stuff I forget, I really do appreciate it.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'd probably get together, talk about the weather for an hour, and
just not have a clue. I wouldn't know where to start. It's great.
Yeah. Well, I hope I'm having really much pleasure to working with you guys, because that yesterday, I thought I talked to my boss about the example of using Scrum. Really, that it's not just a joke. That, for example, you can Scrum can increase productivity 10 times. You can look at it's just a joke, but we can see now that like in first sprint we do nothing. We can't accomplish nothing. In next sprint we accomplished small story, and in third sprint we accomplish almost 10 times more, and it's a really big difference. And that's not, I do not think that we put more efforts now than in previous sprint. I think we more focused on, and I don't know, more tighter as a team. And when I see this, it's actually very, very interesting to look at this. So I actually get much pleasure with working with you, so guys.
Excellent.
That's good. Yeah, and I hope that, well, at least two, 3 developers more attached to a Scrum, and that's great.
Yeah.
Great by itself.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. See you tomorrow on America Scrum or on Monday on.
It'll be Monday, I would have thought, for me.
Okay, Monday.
Most likely for me too, but yeah, who knows. But anyway, have a good weekend, guys.
Take care, guys.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.